These guys were the pioneers, no? They're the first batch of incubators at Ideaspace, and I've been fortunate to see them grow. For most of them, I saw their pitches during the finals, and I saw them. For some of them, I was able to meet them, and then finally the demo day, just like today, and it was last year. So I saw how their ideas turned into reality, and now after 1 year, 1 year after demo day, we're going to ask them what has happened and what's going to happen next. So um, I know for most of you, you know a good number of them, but I'll briefly describe their circumstances. um, see, for Dr. Rene Catan from our Arthrologic, they pioneered the first Asian size knee replacement. And what is very exciting is this is a mix of, he is the non-traditional guy, being a doctor and non-software. So they have a very, very exciting startup. And then Carlo is from Mobcard. What is so amazing about their startup is, probably you'll explain later, is they had 3 months to really, they have new plan, they had new plans, and they had 3 months before demo day to come up with something, and something they did really, no? And of course, there's Vince Loremia. What's amazing about Vince is he's a model for perseverance, because he did not really make it on with the top 10, but he persevered, and he went into demo day, and he eventually got a good number of even international awards. And then there's Chino, who started this as a thesis, college thesis, and naisip niya to, no? He's always thought of this, and eventually when he had the chance, he proposed this as an idea, and now it's into reality. So these are the startups that we have, and what I'm going to ask first and foremost is probably the most important question. Ever since demo day, which was last year, I just would like to ask, probably for each one of you, in less than 2 minutes, what has happened in terms of what was your major success since demo day, major traction, major achievement? No, I think that's what we want to know first and foremost. No, kumbaga, after a year, ano ba yung pinaka maipagmamalaki ninyo, no, as a startup? Doc Rene?
Arthologic is a medical device company, and being a medical device company, it has gone into a very, very difficult space, which is space of healthcare. And one of the biggest challenges that we had during the past year, once we graduated from Ideaspace incubation period, was of course we struggled through the accreditation by government, like the FDA, patenting, business permits, going to hospitals, going to the doctors. And it was very hard to convince investors to invest in a startup medical device company, because it is a very high-risk company. You know, all these litigations about, you know, medical devices not doing well in people's bodies, people's knees in particular. So what we have done during the first quarter of the year was actually go through all these hurdles. We got FDA approval, we got DOH approval, we got hospitals to look at our projects, and then eventually we went to the market, sold the idea to doctors. It was not easy. There were several doctors who were also in a little way hesitant to use the device, because they have been used to implanting medical devices that were imported and the ones that are expensive. So, paano ka magagawa ng murang medical device na quality? But eventually we did our first case. Then the first case went to second, third, fourth. Now we're doing our 12th case. Tomorrow I'll be doing 2 knees. And the end of the month, I'll be doing another 2 knees in, Cebu, together with initial doctors who have somehow accepted the idea. Now, we went from looking for investors to actually allowing the consumers, which are the doctors, to actually invest in the company. So we tweaked a little on how we try to sell the company. So we're now asking the buy-in of the doctors to actually invest in the company right now. So, wala pa rin pera, pero pupunta na kami doon.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Um, Thank you, Dr. Rene. Carlo?
Good morning, everyone. Well, just to explain also, MobCard is a mobile engagement platform. And the challenge that we've had, actually from the very beginning also, even during the incubation program, was to clearly state or show people what we can do. Especially since we're a new concept and people have been used to their usual loyalty programs, which is rewards, which is points and frequency cards. So we had a lot of proving to do, meaning proving ourselves and proving what the system is and what it can do. So that was the major challenge that we had from the very beginning. And we're happy to say that after graduating, so to speak, last demo day, right, in November, we've actually gained a lot of traction. And I guess the real proof of this for us is when we initially signed SM Supermalls to come up with their own mob card for their OFWs, basically converting their global Pinoy card from a plastic card into a mob card, so to speak. So that was the major accomplishment that we've had, or that indication that we've had the past year, especially since we had to, tell people, hey, this is what mob card is, this is what it can do. And from there, it started progressing, right? When we started off during the incubation program, we only had the Asian Institute of Management as our client. But since then, we've signed up around 10 more mobs or 10 more groups. And at the same time, we already have 275 merchants who are already part of the program. So watch out, we're coming up with a public mob card, meaning something that's open to the public that everybody can use, everybody can download. But at this point, it's really close to those specific groups who have engaged us. But I think it's proof also that people understand already what we're doing. At the same time, they see the value in what we're doing as well. Because among the 10 additional clients that we've had are actually very large organizations, aside from PLDT. We also have LaSalle Green Hills, and we're talking to other major clients. Even Procter & Gamble is already part of the program. So it's actually very good for us. So those are the things that has been happening, exciting times. And watch out, by the end of the year, we'll be having real-time promotions already and location-based promotions available through the system.
Wow, congratulations, Carlo. Vince?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Vince Loremia, founder of Tudlo. Just to give you a background about Tudlo. Tudlo actually is a Visayan word that means to teach, to guide, and to point. Tudlo is a disaster web management and mobile safety preparedness tool. So we just correlate the Visayan word, its meaning to in English, to disaster safety preparedness. No? So from the demo day, actually we're very unique. It's because we're not part of top 10, so we were not incubated. So we were outside the gates of Ideaspace. No? After that demo day, we actually push, and we have an angel. Actually, I call her Angel. She got us outside. No? So we pursue. So we publish our application on iOS and Google Play Store and on major web browser. So we got our first engagement with province of Albay. Then after that, we won an international award where we got another grant, or what shall we say, money, no? So we were invested by Ideaspace, Smart Communications, and then ITU, World Telecom. Where in fact, we were already moving around not just in the Philippines, but outside the country. So we represented Philippines last November at Thailand, and then we went to Australia this year, and this end of the year we will go to Doha, Qatar. So it's just started with an idea, we persevere, we pivot, we make mistakes, and then right now I'm here together with these guys to prove that it's not really, there's no something wrong with us at that time, all right? But there's just lacking. So hopefully we will get our revenue ROI within this year.
Oh, very good. Wow, ROI, within this year. Fantastic.
Hi everyone. I'm Chino Tilano and I'm the CEO of Time Free Innovations. And Time Free is actually a virtual queuing solution for businesses with a high volume of daily face-to-face transactions. So ever since the demo day last year, we have deployed in over 100 sites here in the Philippines. We were able to launch in Hong Kong last March and also in Malaysia last August. We're currently moving into the phase 2 of our 3-year plan, which is to usher in the mobile app, especially with the smartphone penetration rate increasing here in the Philippines and with data plans also increasing. We see that as an opportunity for us to really fill in a gap in the space in the market, as well as further expansion outside the Philippines. So that's what we are very busy about the past few months.
Yeah, that's good, no? So at least both of you startups are now going international. That's fantastic. Um, uh, Actually, my next question is because you've discussed some of your accomplishments that you did, and they look very, very good. Probably the audience also would like to know what were the things that you were really not prepared, you know, in spite of your business experience, in spite of your connections in the community or industry, in spite of even being incubated, no, by Ideaspace. I know even for Doc Rene, you know, being senior there, I know you had challenges in getting approval or even acceptance in your community. I just would like to know what were the things that you were really not prepared. You were so surprised, even probably to the point that you just wanted to give up, no, after demo day. Any issues any things that you were not prepared? Yeah, any one of you can answer.
Yeah, maybe I'll start with this. Making money and then getting money from investors.
Okay.
It's simple on Tech in Asia, on other blog sites, that people really got investments that easy. No?
Yes.
But behind that story, actually, they pass 100 times and they fail 100 times on investing itself, no? On getting investors. So we were surprised it was not really easy, especially on our side. It's
Yes.
a social kind of startup. So I think fundraising is really very challenging. And hopefully this cohort 2 will have their more studies and research on how really to get investors that quick.
Okay, good. Anybody else would like to share their challenges? Sige, Doc.
As a medical device company, aside from funding, of course, the greatest challenge that we encountered during the entire year is to get the buy-in of the community. We are actually challenging a certain status quo and coming up with what we believe a better idea and better solution. But of course, you know, you have to present to it in a way that it's not so baga hindi masyadong it's not tipping the balance so much because right now ang current trend of joint replacement, although it is really a necessity, we barely are skimming the top of the numbers of people who actually need joint replacement. And being a very technical and highly high-tech device,
Yes.
acceptability of somebody like a Filipino company coming up with a very high technology demanding product, ang tanong is, kaya ba talaga natin dito? And the question is, of course, gagamitin ba namin to? In fact, when I was talking with my colleagues na mga doctors, when I presented to them and pitched to them, sabi na, pare, congratulations ha. Meron ka ng backyard project. So, yeah, backyard project. Para bang, pinagawa mo lang yan sa kung saang machine shop. But little did they know that it took us actually 3 years before we even entered Ideaspace. And so that
I see.
time of R&D, actually we have spent a lot of time, money, and effort already. And so even until now, there are challenges as far as people buying into the system, but there are also a group of doctors and patients who are willing to accept the product. Primarily because what we offer is an innovation that has cut down the cost of the surgery to more than half of the current cost. And so they realize na pag meron kang ino-offer sa market na quality product and does the same thing, just a matter of time na kukunin ng market yun.
I see. So that was really something that you really didn't expect. You thought that since
Yeah.
you're part of the community, they
Yes.
would have easily embraced.
Yes.
Okay. I see. So it's like parang si Jesus Christ, no? They're all from Jerusalem. Parang
Yeah.
the carpenter is now, di ba? Parang that's
A
yeah. That's
prophet
very
will not have honor in his own place.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Another question probably is, I know yung going to incubation, Ideaspace is very, very important. But which one there is something that you learned that you cannot do without, no? In during your incubation at Ideaspace. I mean, like you, sir, diba, you worked already before in business. You're all professionals. But when you went into Ideaspace incubation, what was that one thing that you couldn't do without? Na hindi nyo mahanap sa labas ng incubation?
Okay, I'll answer this one first. I think that there's something for us, no, that I think should be applicable for everybody is the principle of yung pivot or perish. Kasi sometimes for us, the people who come up with all of these ideas, minsan kasi masyado tayong believe sa sarili natin at sa idea natin na, di ba? You're not receptive to the feedback and the comments of everybody around you.
I see.
Diba?
Yes.
Parang you're not open to the criticism, you're not open to the advice, especially from people in the industry. Parang you don't know kung kailan mo papakinggan, right? But sometimes you have to keep an open mind, especially when you're in this situation. Because sometimes you're too close to the idea or the concept that you don't realize that, hey, tama pala yung sinasabi ng ibang tao.
Yes.
And that is the time when you have to change and adjust, or else your business will die. Right?
Okay.
So that principle of pivot or perish, yung mga nasa t-shirt natin before, right?
You must take it into heart.
Oh, you must take it into heart because it's true. Right? Even big companies do that.
Yes.
Except that, of course, mas malalim ang bulsa nila. Right? Tayo mababaw ang bulsa. So we have to adjust faster and learn faster.
So ego also plays a lot.
Ego plays a lot. Diba? Kasi sometimes, diba, it's true, diba? Believe na believe ka sa idea mo, hindi mo
Yes.
naintindihan na, uy, okay pala yung sinasabi niya. Right? So you have to be open. Especially during the incubation program where you're talking to so many people, you have to take their experience and wisdom also. Even if, nag-negosyo na dati,
Yes.
diba, parang hindi na ako makikinig dyan dahil alam ko na yan.
Mas alam mo na, oo.
Pero hindi eh. Sometimes, don't realize that there really is something new that's coming in.
For our group, it's actually all of us, the four founders, are engineers, right? So we come from a very technical background, and prior to the incubation, we didn't know anything about business models, revenue models, all of those things. And so during the incubation, we were sent to AIM. A couple of professors there taught us about all of these things, and I
Yes.
think for me that is that's probably the most important part that we learned in Idea Space.
I see.
Because without that, I don't think it would be where we are today. So that's very, very important for us.
Okay. Doc?
Just a word on the question.
Yes.
I think the most important thing that happened to Artrologic, with as far as this activities is concerned, is it was a venue for us to validate our idea.
That's right.
Going through 3 years of R&D was not a easy task because we really didn't know whether there was a community that would embrace the idea. And so, as always, I've told the group, the very fact that I have gone and I was invited to become part of the Ideaspace 20 when we pitched, I told them, whatever happens to this Ideaspace 20 when we were
Yes.
pitching, I said that in itself for me is also already a validation that whatever happens, this project will push through. And with that validation, I had met so many people in the course of the incubation, even until now, that I could not even imagine na yung connectivity and the network that has helped me grow this, because if I did this alone,
Yes.
siguro it will take me another 5 or 10 years to even put the project into fruition, into the market. Now it's a big step forward
Yes,
for
so
me.
leverage was very important.
Yes.
Leverage. Okay. Before I head off to my next question, guys, we're going into Q&A later. You have the chance to ask our startups here. So please prepare your questions. Another thing is, for all of your startups, you have the potential to go international, or for some of you, international. Even for your knee technology, it's for Asia, and the technology is applicable. Could you briefly tell us what are your expansion plans for international, or what have you done so far? Anyone can, everyone or anyone can discuss. Yeah?
Well, at least for Mobcard, we see the potential really to go global. When we're talking to different investors, angel investors or
Yes.
potential venture capitalists from across Asia, they always say that, hey, are you similar to this? But when we start talking, oh, you're different, right? So
That's
there's
right.
potential in that. And even with our initial discussions, we already have interest from somebody from Papua New Guinea who owns a telecom company who wants to license us already. But that's part of the plan to really go Asia, especially with Indonesia and Malaysia, where there are similarities with the buying behavior, purchasing behavior with Filipinos.
Yeah, that's
So
right,
That's
no?
that's the initial plan in the next
Mhm.
year.
I see. Okay. So at least at the ASEAN level, right?
ASEAN level for
Yes.
now, then let's see how it goes from there.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Vince.
Yeah, I think for Tudlo, since it's a disaster management and safety preparedness tool, so each and every individual is actually our market. Our expansion right now, since our app in the App Store got already users from North Luzon going south, Tawi-Tawi. So we are all over the Philippines right now. So what's our next move for ASEAN market or next market is through open source technology,
I
open
see.
sourcing our
That's
web
right.
management tool,
Okay.
and we'll just monetize on services. So
I see.
that's
That's a very good idea.
Yep.
Putting it into open source, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Sheena?
We're actually working on the mobile apps I've said earlier, right? And this is actually
Yes.
geared towards further market expansion, not just in Asia, but also we're looking at the US. We're currently talking with a company there that wants to license it. Although
Yes.
this is still far down the road. The way we see it, it's going to take some more time before we could finalize that. But on the midterm, one of the midterm goals is actually to expand the footprint beyond the Philippines, Hong Kong, and Malaysia. So we're actually working on a deal with a company in Thailand, as well as one in Indonesia, and another one in Saudi Arabia. This might take probably about 3 to 6 months to finalize, but we're really optimistic we could deliver on those things.
I see. Okay, good. It's fantastic. Before I move to my next question, we can move to Q&A, right? Right? Any questions from the audience? Are we still on time, right? Okay. Any questions from the audience? You can just stand up. We have microphones there. Wala pa? Wala pang... Yes? Ay, hindi pala. Sige. Wala pa? Nahiya pa? Sige. I have another one, but this one is for Chino and Vince. Kasi you're originally not from Manila, right? And some people are also asking, how challenging is it to really, get into this startup ecosystem and get funded and or incubated? You're from Zamboanga, right? You're from Tawi-Tawi, and you're from Bacolod? Cebu, right? Sige. So, quite interesting that you're coming from those places. Any insight from startups coming from those areas?
So I think it all boils down to mentality. It doesn't really matter where you're from. If you have
Yes.
the mentality to really want to pursue your dreams, and you have goals that you have set and you want to achieve them, it really doesn't matter where you come from. But on that topic, I guess one of the things that makes it more difficult, right, for people from far-flung areas, especially for myself, I came from Mapun, Tawi-Tawi, which is a very, very small island there.
Wow. Exotic island.
Yeah, it's an exotic island. That's always my icebreaker, But on that topic, right, the most challenging part is really to have self-confidence. Because most of the people there, they have a lot of ideas, right? They have a lot of ideas, but they sell themselves short. Mainly because they think that, hey, I'm only from this island,
Yes,
I can only
yes.
do so much. But if you have the mentality to really go after your goals, then it shouldn't be a problem.
I see.
It shouldn't be a problem. And you need to be able to adapt to the situation, whatever situation you're in. You need to be resilient, because you will face a lot of challenges. Even those in Manila are already facing a lot of challenges. So you can just imagine
Yes.
people from far-flung areas, how much
Yes.
pressure they have, and all the obstacles they need to face, right? So if you have the mentality and you have the right attitude, I guess you should be fine.
I see. Okay, good. Having the right attitude, resiliency, and self-confidence, huh?
I think we have the same insight. I came from Cebu, but I have unique experience. It's because first day of my job, I was already in a startup. I was an employee of a startup. So it's easy for me to really deal with this. But I'm not an expert. I'm just an employee before, so I was not heading the company. So it's a different story. It boils down really on what he said, and persevere. Just take action and
Yes.
keep moving. That's,
Very
I
good.
think.
Thank you. Any other questions, guys, from the audience? Yes. Yeah.
Hello? Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Kay Doc yung question ko.
Kay Doc Rene?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Doc. Yung with regards to sa design, kaya, this, okay. Nung dinidesign mo siya, yung knee replacement ba na magmamatch sa size ng Asian? Doc, nung ginagawa mo yun, any thoughts na nung dinidesign mo siya, kasi sabi mo kanina around 12 na successful operations. Nung dinidesign mo pa lang ba siya, naisip mo na bang i-outsource yung design? Or iyan na agad sa China? Or dito ka muna focus?
Salamat para okay. when we were coming up with the design, the reason for the design actually was yung current type of implants that we use in the market are sized using Caucasian knees. And nung lumabas yung mga studies about different sizes, we found out through the literature, sa medical literature, na mas malaki talaga ang sizes ng Caucasians and oblong yung shape. And Filipinos or Asians in general have more circular sized knees. So in effect, what we were doing in the past was putting in oversized knees. That's why we still had patients na despite their knee replacements, nagkakaroon pa sila ng pain. So, nung dinidesign namin yon, and we were coming up with the prototype, of course, nag-start pa kami ng mga molds, yun ang mahal doon. Yes, there was a consideration bringing it China. And in fact, majority of the big companies right now are sourcing their production in China. Now, dinala ko yung idea sa isang manufacturing firm dito. Actually, marami. And he said, Doc, kaya na natin to dito. And I was surprised na when he showed me the prototype, sabi ko, konting-konti na lang. We'll go for this. And when we had perfected the idea or perfected the product, we actually went to China. And we were surprised that the technology that we're doing there is exactly or we're even better ang technology natin dito. And so, with the cost na ginagawa natin dito and the cost na ginagawa sa China, sabi ko dito na lang. Kasi unang-una, we will never be sure kasi hindi namin makikita yung paano ginagawa doon sa China. And these are medical devices. These are critical of what type of metals or plastic that we put in people's knees. And so we wanted to own that process. And so outsourcing it to China, ever since, na-shelved na namin and we decided, let's give the Filipino a chance to prove his worth in the international community in doing medical devices. In fact, we will be the only country in the entire ASEAN region that will be doing actual joint replacement devices. Kasi wala pa ako nakikita sa ibang countries. Well, Taiwan has, Japan has, but this is an opportunity for the country to shine in terms of this space. So tinanggal namin yon and we are producing the entire process dito sa Pilipinas.
Last question is, anong advice ninyo after demo day?
I think I'll just boil it down to one phrase, no? Play hard and work harder and
Okay.
keep moving. That's it.
Okay, very good, Vince. Thank you.
I think that sums it all up. You have to keep moving. You have to remember that there are only like 3 or 4 of you in the team. So
Yes.
if you won't move, who else will, right? So you need to move for your own startups. That's about it.
I think Diane mentioned it earlier that things are gonna start getting harder right after the incubation program.
Correct.
So there is a lot of perseverance that has to happen, especially since after the incubation program, that's the time when you really have to push and sell your product. Wala ka ng safety net of Ideaspace or sila Earl or sila Dustin that are there to catch you every time, no?
The real life begins.
The real, then you start being accountable to the different customers or companies that you partner with, or even your potential investors. No, so that's where the challenges happen, and be prepared for those challenges. You have the opportunity still to make mistakes, but learn fast, but persevere. Like what you said, it's not gonna get any easier. Everybody here in this panel can attest to that. So laban pa rin, and really pursue that dream, right? Don't lose heart.
Dagdag mo na yung another P doon sa sinabi mo, pivot or perish, persevere.
Yes.
Yeah, yun lang. Talagang once you're there, wala na yung safety net, according to Carlo. You're on your own. You can either just let go of the idea when you feel lonely, wala kang kausap, yun. Sabi mo, sometimes you'd ask yourself, tama ba tong ginagawa ko? You know? And then, of course, dadating yung time na, hey, look, you just go back to this time na you were here in front, pitching, and you're on top of the world and can tell the world na maganda tong produkto ko. But then once you get out of the of this room, you may realize na, teka, I'm hearing my own echo. Going to be very lonely. And just hold on to there. Persevere. And if you really believe in it, yes, get your dream come true.
Thank you. So guys, as you can see, the hard work begins tomorrow after this. But the very good news is you have these guys 1 year after last year's demo day, and they're here. They're doing traction. They're conquering markets. A help, or if not a big help, of course, from Ideaspace. So if there are no more questions, I'd like to thank Doc Rene, Carlo, Vince, Chino. Thank you very much for gracing the panel. Thank you.